Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Giselle. I review fragrances for women here in this channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing and giving me thumbs up. That way you will help me grow my channel. Today, I want to talk about my most complimented fragrances. I actually have another batch, so I wanted to do two separate videos because otherwise it will be like way too long. But for today, I have 10 fragrances that I want to share with you that are my most compliment getters. I want to start my list with Granada by Memo. I've already talked about this fragrance before. I've reviewed this fragrance before. It's the most addictive, seductive, and captivating fragrance I've ever smelled. Really, it's so different in its own category. It's a white floral vanilla tonka combo. The most prominent one here is orange blossom, although there's a lot of jasmine here as well, heliotrope as well, and vanilla and tonka, of course. But it's very, very addictive. It's a massive compliment getter. I get compliments with this one every single time I'm wearing this. The other day I went to a restaurant and I was waiting to be seated, and the server passed by me very quick. She was very busy. She was wearing a mask, of course, and she stopped and came back to me and she asked me, please tell me what you're wearing. This is amazing. And when she came back to me, after she went to the kitchen, she came back and she said, like, everybody's smelling your perfume. I have to know what is it. So it is a massive, massive compliment getter. I have been complimented every time I wear this all the time. It's very addictive, very, as I said, it's like juicy, almost syrupy. It's inspired by the city of Granada in the south of Spain. It's a beautiful city full of orange trees and of course orange blossoms. That's why the orange blossom is the most prominent. Although it's not your typical like cologne orange blossom, this is super niche, super refined. Everything that Memo does is like super top notch. You may like their fragrances or not, but you have to give them credit for the high quality materials, ingredients they use. So give it a try. Highly, highly, highly complimented and highly recommended. Memo Paris Granada. So the second one is Bottega Veneta, the classic one, the original one. This fragrance, I don't know if you see it. This fragrance is having a lot of hype and a lot of attention, getting a lot of attention lately. I've been using this since it's been launched in 2011. It's been my signature scent since then. Now people are starting to recognize it more. When I started wearing this, even up until like 5 years ago, nobody even heard about this fragrance. And even when I used to say it's Bottega Veneta, I say Bottega Veneta. I didn't know they had fragrances. So it is a massive compliment getter. It's a shipper or chypre type of fragrance. Shipper fragrance have something in common, which is that it's, let's say, chypre fragrances, it's an olfactory group. It's not a note, mind you. And we have floral chypres and we have fruity chypres. This is a floral chypre with leather notes. Chypre fragrance in general, they have oak moss, they have labdanum, they have bergamot and patchouli in their composition. Those four components as the foundation, and then it's mixed up with other flowers or floral notes, even leather like this one. And you will have many different types of varieties within that family group. But I just wanted to remind you, because some people think that chypre in English or chypre in French, people think that's a type of note. No, it's not a note, it's an olfactory group, like a family. So this one is the epitome of class. Class in a bottle. Guys, I cannot tell you enough what is this. It's a massive compliment getter. The leather, it has pink pepper, it has jasmine, of course oak moss, as I said. It has patchouli, but the most prominent note here is leather. More than leather, I would say it's suede. It actually has a little tiny bow here. It's suede. I think suede is way more feminine and softer than leather. Nothing against leather. I think leather fragrances are super elegant, both in men and women. But I think suede, it's a little bit more feminine. Amazing. I don't know if you're familiar with Bottega Veneta. It's a high-end luxury brand from Italy. And it it's very different from the other designers because it's very subdued, very low key. You don't see big logos. You don't see all the bells and whistles you see in other, designers. So Bottega Veneta is very, very chic, very, as I said, very low key. You don't see logos, you don't see anything, but you can tell when something is from Bottega Veneta. And this fragrance represents that understated luxury. It's like all money type of fragrance. It represents a very confident person, someone who doesn't need to impress anyone, someone who is used to luxury. This luxury and class in a bottle, literally. And they have an extrait version. The extrait version is actually sold in very limited quantities, only at select Bottega Veneta boutiques. And the bottle is real Murano glass. So I love this. I love this. It's a niche quality fragrance for the price of a designer fragrance, if it makes sense. This is a niche fragrance to me. Longevity, sillage, projection. You have, needless to say, the materials used here, the raw materials, ingredients. This is niche quality for a designer price. So please give it a try. It's not a safe blind buy because I know that many people don't like leather-based fragrances, but still it's definitely worth a try. Remember, it is the original version, okay? There are many different flankers now. This is the original, just Bottega Veneta. So the next one, guys, is St.Martin by the house of Nateeva. This house, I love this house. They make fragrances that actually they are named after Caribbean islands. They have Jamaica, they have Bahamas, they have St. Martin, they have St. Thomas. Bahamas, Jamaica, and St. Martin are my favorite, and St. Martin is my favorite of all of them. This is a floral fragrance. It's very linear. It won't change, at least it doesn't on my skin. It's amazing. It lasts hours, at least 6 to 8 hours. Massive compliment getter as well. Amazing fragrance. The main flower here is the hibiscus. Hibiscus is typically a big red flower with very velvety petals. It smells amazing. It has a very particular smell. I remember when I was a child, my mom used to have a lot of hibiscus trees in the yard. It reminds me of my childhood as well. It's very soft, slightly musky. It has mimosa, it has jasmine as well, orange blossom. But it's a floral, kind of tropical, summery type of fragrance. But you can wear this honestly all year round. It doesn't have coconut, so it's not really that tropical. I discovered this fragrance on a trip to St. Martin, and I remember that I only tried on my skin once. I think I might like the fragrance after I tried on a strip, right on a paper. And I've been trying many different fragrances, and none of them really called my attention. But when I tried this and I put it on my skin, oh, I was like totally blown away. I couldn't even pick any other fragrance after buying this one. This was the only one I left the shop with. And every single person I came across with in the street would even stop me to ask me what I was wearing. And it was St. Martin by Nateeva. This is a very nice fragrance. I will link the URL, the website down below. You can get it here in the States. I didn't know that it was possible. So yeah, give it a try. It's a massive compliment getter. It's a floral fragrance, but super chic. Guys, the next one. Ooh. This is this one. This is also the epitome of class. My two classiest fragrance of my collection, Bottega Veneta and Eau de Soir by the house of Sisley. Sisley is a high-end skincare brand. It's very organic. They use very natural ingredients. Their skincare line is awesome. It's pretty pricey too. And the fragrance is like to die for. So Eau de Soir, it's a floral shipper as well. It's floral, but it's not like a bouquet type of floral. Not flowery, as I always say. It's floral, but not flowery. It doesn't have the vibes of a bouquet right in your face. It's amazing. It's woody, it's earthy, it's slightly dry. It has iris and it's fresh, spicy as well. Super, super, super long lasting. In the main flower here, it's the syringa. Syringa is a Spanish flower and it's a night flower. It actually kind of blossoms during the night and it expels a very, very fragrant perfume that attracts night butterflies to pollinate it. So it's a night flower. That's why they named this fragrance Eau de Soir, because in French, soir means night. So it's absolutely stunning, massive compliment getter, super refined, super chic. This is like confidence and refinement in a bottle. When you wear this, you feel like $1,000,000. You feel like you can, grab the bull by the horns. This is it's not for the faint of heart, okay? This is not for the faint of heart. It's also not a safe blind buy, but it's definitely worth a try. As I said, it's a massive compliment getter. It's a fragrance that not everybody wears. In Europe, it's very popular. Here in America, it's not that popular. People don't really know it a lot because Sisley is more renowned for the skincare line. But Eau de Soir, it's like to die for it. Honestly, with Bottega Veneta, I think this too, it's literally the epitome of class and refinement. This is even more, I would say it's even more sophisticated. This is for the CEO. This is for the super confident woman. This is for the woman that want to turn heads. This is for the woman who want to be the center of attention. Eau de Soir by Sisley. Amazing, amazing fragrance. So the next one on my list, Montale Crystal Oud. I never heard anyone reviewing or talking about this fragrance. This is amazing. I grew out of the oud. It was a time in my life that every single fragrance I would purchase would have oud in the composition, but I grew out of that. I still like oud, but I'm not just such a big fan as I used to be. But this one is the one that I keep on buying and repurchasing because it's super, super, super special. It's very feminine. It's super sexy. Crystal Oud, it's a fruity, ozonic type of oud. It's very different. It has the typical Montale DNA, but still, it is still different. It has saffron, a lot of saffron. That's why it reminds me a lot Baccarat Rouge 540. They are not similar, as I said in my previous video, I believe. They are not similar, but this has a definitely similar vibe, even similar DNA as Baccarat Rouge 540 has. It has vanilla, patchouli, spices, like I said, cinnamon and saffron are the most prominent, but you can also smell the fruit, like green apple, I think cantaloupe as well, mandarin. It's super, super, super sexy and refined. I have a funny story. I remember I was wearing this and I get into an elevator. The elevator kept stopping in every single story. People kept coming in, and suddenly I was pushed all the way back. And in another story, when the elevators opened, a lady came in, was maybe 95, really, really old and sweet lady. And I remember I had a man standing beside me, and he said, someone smells really good here. I was wearing this. Someone smells really good here. And the lady on the outside, on the opposite side, said, "Thank you." And I found it like so sweet and funny. Then she left the elevator and everybody was cracking up. It was so sweet to see her, and she thought, the compliment was for her. But let me tell you, this is a massive, massive compliment getter. Men love this. Take note. Crystal Oud by the House of Montale. So my next one on the list is Inflorescence. I think this is a very underrated fragrance in the house. Inflorescence, oh wow, it's a white floral, but it's also fresh, it's also green. It's been launched in 2013. It's been a while that it's been launched. It's nothing really new, but it's an amazing fragrance. It's freesias, lily, magnolia, rose, but it's not a rosy type of fragrance. One thing that, I don't know if you're familiar with the house of Byredo, but one thing that I want to share with you is that Byredo the designer, believes in less is more. So he really adds very few notes to his fragrances. He doesn't want any note to clash with the others. So his fragrances are really pretty linear and crystal clear, very straightforward. It's like you get what you pay for, meaning that there's no surprises, no misleading names. If you want a floral, if you pick like this one or like tulip, or for example, those are typical floral fragrances. The name suggests there's something floral in there, and that's what you will get. There are no surprises. Like Blanche, for example, Blanche, the word, to me, it looks like something clear or crisp or clean in that direction, right? So that's what Blanche is. When you smell Blanche, it's like a soapy, clean, crisp, green type of fragrance. So there are no surprises. He's very, very straightforward in what he does. It's super, super top notch, very, very high quality ingredients. And Inflorescence is not the exception. I think this is the most delicious fragrance in the line. I own 4. I also own Bal d'Afrique. I don't even use it. I purchased years ago. Now it's been getting a lot of hype, but this one is a way better compliment getter. I get way more compliments when I wear this than when I used to wear Bal d'Afrique. It's an amazing fragrance. It has magnolia also, I think I said, jasmine. It's very crisp, clean. The nice thing about this one is that it stays clean and crisp even in the dry down, because sometimes fragrances turn a little bit muskier or more like softer when they dry down. This stays super crisp and clean like when you first spray it on. It's a very, very nice fragrance. It's a very young fragrance, but it's not like teeny like. And the other thing that I like about this fragrance is that although it's a floral, what makes this fragrance very different is that there are no aldehydes here, no musk, no vanilla. There are no notes that are typically associated with flowers. So again, there will be no surprises. It's very linear, and even in the dry down, it will smell exactly the same as when you first sprayed it on. I love it. The first time I tried this was in Las Vegas. I don't even remember where in Las Vegas, but when I sprayed, like everybody was asking me what I was wearing. And after that, I said I have to buy it, and I bought it. And it's a massive compliment getter. Again, Inflorescence by the House of Byredo. Ce Soir. I've already talked about this in like 2 or 3 of my videos. Ce Soir, it's such a beautiful, gorgeous fragrance. And as I said before, it's a sweet fragrance. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's floral, it's woody. It also has ginger, and it also has cashmere. Cashmere is a fantasy note. It's actually lab created to get the feeling and the experience when we are wearing a cozy cashmere sweater or cashmere scarf. So that is cashmere. It's, as I said, it doesn't really exist. It's a lab created note, but that is what this fragrance also has. That's why I think it performs better, I think, in the colder months. But what really takes this fragrance to a whole new level is the quince. It has quince. I don't know if you ever tried the fruit. Be careful, you can't eat it raw. You have to cook it, and I have an amazing recipe. If you ever want the recipe how to bake the quince, let me know. But if you have the opportunity to try that, you will know what I'm talking about, because quince elevates this fragrance like 10 notches up. Amazing fragrance, massive compliment getter. The other day I went to the mall. Of course I was wearing my mask, and I went to pay. I went to the register. The guy at the register was also wearing a mask, and also he was behind the screen. And even with 2 masks in between and the screen, he asked me, "Oh God, is that you?" I said, "What? What do you mean?" And he said, "Are you wearing that perfume? Like, I'm smelling something unique that I never smelled before." And I said, "Well, hopefully, I don't know if it's me, but hopefully I am." So it was me, and he loved this. He said, "Please tell me what you're wearing, because I want to buy that too, for my girlfriend." So I wrote it down for him, and he was very happy. He loved it. And I tell you, that day in the mall, he wasn't the only one giving me compliments about my perfume, my fragrance, and everybody was wearing a mask. So it's not only a compliment getter, but face mask proved. So amazing fragrance. Give it a try. Face mask proof. in massive compliment getter, BDK Ce Soir. The next one, guys, is Yvresse. I already talked about this one before. Yvresse has been launched in 1993 under the name of Champagne. What a stunning fragrance. It's funny, and I think it's nice because here on the side you can read the main accords, and then here it has been launched. So main accords are nectarine, lychee, rose, violet, and patchouli. Of course, it has other components. This is also chypre fragrance, but this is a fruity chypre. The Bottega Veneta, for example, Bottega Veneta or Eau de Soir are floral chypres. This is a fruity chypre. It's an amazing fragrance. It's floral, it's super sweet, it's sharp. You have to like sweet perfumes, but this is, among all the sweet perfumes I've ever tried, this is the best juice ever. It's so well blended because it's very sweet, but it's not cheap at all. And that's the problem with sweet fragrances, that sometimes they are delicious, but they can smell cheap. Well, YSL nailed it with this one because it's also class in a bottle. It's an amazing fragrance, massive compliment getter. And the thing is, as I was saying, it was launched as Champagne. The problem was that Champagne is a region in France and they have trademarked the name of Champagne. So you can name Champagne to anything you want, right? So they reach out to YSL and told them that they can't keep producing with that name, right? So they had to change the name and they rebranded the perfume under the name of Yvresse, but they kept on manufacturing the same bottle. Years later, I think it was a couple of years later, I don't remember, but sometime later they reached back out and they say, hey, you can't even use the bottle. So they had to rebrand the whole product. So they rebranded under the name of Yvresse, but also with this type of more minimalistic type of bottle, which I love. And I think the fragrance is amazing. People say it's been reformulated. I don't know. Actually, it doesn't make sense to list here the year it's been launched if it was actually reformulated. I use the other one too, and I can't tell any difference. And I have a very, very picky nose, I can tell you. And I can't tell you the difference between this one. Probably they have changed some notes, I don't know, but I can't tell any difference between this one and the vintage one. What an amazing fragrance. If you like, let's say, if you like nectarine or peachy or mango type of fragrances, you will love this. For example, if you like Cassili by Parfums de Marly, highly likely you will like this. If you like Dahab by Kajal, or if you like Mango Skin by Wilhelm Perfumery, highly likely you will like this fragrance. But you have to be in that direction. Peachy, apricots, nectarine, sweet type of fragrances. When I say sweet, I'm not talking about like pink sugar, Aqualina, right? I'm talking about on another level. This is really, to me, this smells niche. And again, similar to Bottega Veneta, you get a niche quality fragrance for a designer price. Amazing, amazing fragrance. Again, Yvresse by Saint Laurent. The next one on my list is Astor Place. I already talked about this fragrance before. It's a floral, ozonic, almost aquatic, sweet, musky, and woody floral by the House of Bond number 9. The House of Bond number 9 is also a niche fragrance house. It has a lot of freesia, peony, mandarin, amber, and orris root. It's very synthetic, I have to tell you. It's a very synthetic type of perfume, but it is exquisite. Exquisite, massive, massive compliment getter. It's a beast projection-wise, longevity-wise, and sillage-wise. It's like, it has it checks all the boxes, on my skin at least. I would say it's a 10 out of 10 fragrance. It has everything. It's a little bit pricey. Don't be discouraged by the fact it is synthetic, because some people actually are very allergic to natural ingredients and they can wear this. I know people that are very allergic to natural ingredients. However, they can use Bond number 9 fragrances, which are renowned to be pretty synthetic, right? But they are amazing fragrances. And again, you have everything. You have great sillage, great staying power, great projection. And on top of that, massive compliments. So Astor Place, again, by the House of Bond, number 9. My last one, guys, is TIARE. I've already talked about this before. TIARE is by the House of Chantecaille. Chantecaille is also a high-end skincare brand. Amazing fragrance. It's a tropical white flower, but what this perfume has in particular is that it doesn't have, what it has in particular is what it doesn't have, and it is coconut. It doesn't have any hint of coconut, so you won't have that typical summery, beachy, suntan lotion type of fragrance. So that's why I wear this all year round. It has, of course, Tahitian gardenia or TIARE, the TIARE flower, which is very, very, very fragrant. It has orchid, it has rose, but although it has rose, like Inflorescence, these fragrances have rose, but they are not rosy fragrances. Actually, it's hard to pick the rose. You have to be very well trained or very used, or have a great nose, but otherwise you don't really pick the note, the rose. Has jasmine, also has cyclamen, and has ylang ylang. The ylang ylang gives the fragrance that tropical vibe, that warmth. But again, it's a stunning fragrance. You can pull this off all year round. A massive compliment getter as well. One day I was in a restaurant as well. I was waiting to be seated, and like when we finally got seated in the table, the server came and told me that everybody was wondering where this perfume came from, right? And she also bring me a piece of paper so I could write her down the name of this fragrance. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. It's TIARE by Chantecaille. Chantecaille, I think, has 5 or 6 fragrances. I own 3 of them, and I think this is my favorite. This is my favorite, TIARE by Chantecaille. So guys, thank you so much for watching. This was part 1 of my most complimented fragrances. I will try to upload a second video. I'm not sure if it's going to be right after this one or maybe 2 videos from now. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, giving me also a thumbs up, a comment below, because all those things will help me with the algorithm. So YouTube will show my video to more people, and that way I will be able to grow my channel. Thank you so much again. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.